Jenny, I guess I will wait just a little itty bitty for people to log in. But I know when I like to go back and watch videos, I like it to just start like right away. I don't like that waiting period of having others join, but we will proceed. So I'm going to cover several topics. One being there has been new motions filed in the Ashley Parham versus Diddy lawsuit that names Maui Police Chief John Pelletier. I just found it right now. It was filed today, March 9th. I'm going to go over that. But importantly, I wanted to do a video on the fact that on June 2nd, paperwork were filed in that lawsuit that explained why John Pelletier is named in the Ashley Parham Diddy lawsuit. It's like Christmas in June. I love it so much. Okay, let me pull up the paperwork really quick. I am so happy. I am so happy. Alrighty, you guys. So I'm going to give you guys a backstory on what's going on in the Ashley Parham versus Diddy naming John Pelletier lawsuit. Okay. So basically, when she filed this lawsuit back in October 14, 2024, she filed the lawsuit, and in March 2025, she amended it and she added John and Jane Doe into her lawsuit. Since then, we've been waiting because the last thing that was on the docket was that she needed to refile her summons, right? So the summons is the motion, is the what gets served to all the defendants: John Pelletier, Diddy, Christina Coram, blah blah blah. Okay. So we have been waiting since March 7th. They told her she had some filing errors. Ariel Mitchell, who is Ashley Parham's lawyer, they told Ariel that she needed to go and refile all the summons and make it correct. And she had until June 7th to file all that stuff. And she also had to file that John and Jane Doe could remain anonymous and could use their pseudonyms. So it's been dormant since March 7th. We finally got movement on June 2nd. Ariel Mitchell and Sean Perez, which are both Ashley Parham's lawyers, they both filed paperwork and motions. Okay. So just stick along and follow with me. Okay. Druski, you guys know Druski, right? He's named in the same Diddy lawsuit that names John Pelletier. So Druski, mind you guys, okay, let's start here. Nobody has been served yet. Okay. No one's been served in the case. That was one of the error filings that got sent back to Ariel Mitchell, and they told her, "Hey, you got to fix these summons. In the state of California, we only accept three summons. So put everybody's name on one of the three summons, or put everybody on one summons, but we cannot have you submitting 18 summons." Ariel Mitchell submitted 18 summons. She did that because in Florida, where she's at, she can file as much as 18 summons. But in the state of California, they couldn't do that. So it was just like a little minor error paperwork thing. So, anyways, I need to learn to not read the comments, because in the comments like throw me off. Hi, you guys, when I read it and then I go back and then I'm like all thrown off. Okay, let me get back on track. So, anyways, Ariel Mitchell still hasn't even served any of the defendants in the John Pelletier Diddy lawsuit. Okay. Reminder, John Pelletier is Maui's current police chief. I live in Maui. I reveal corruption here in Maui. Okay. So Druski is named as a defendant in that lawsuit. Okay. So Druski went ahead and filed a motion to sanction Ariel Mitchell's lawyers. Okay. He wanted to sanction everybody and be the lawyers, and basically saying that she's only doing it for clout, that the only reason why Ariel Mitchell is naming him Odell Beckham Jr., everybody in here, is because she's trying to gain notoriety. Okay. So in response to that, Ariel Mitchell had to submit paperwork in response to the motion. Now, this is what I find really interesting. Okay. Which is why I said nobody's been served yet, right? In that lawsuit. Here's what's interesting is Druski is already defending himself as if he's in the lawsuit, but he's never been officially served. So when I researched this, it says that it's frowned upon for people who's basically hasn't even been served yet. So they're factually not even in the case yet, filing motions in a case that they're not even in yet. Does that make any sense to you? So, anyways, when I researched it legally, that's like frowned upon in the court of law. So what Ariel Mitchell tried to do is tried to have, she was like, hey, can I just serve you? And then you can take service of this and then we can proceed. Well, he denied being served. So it's like, okay, you're denying being served, but you're also you're denying being served, but you also want to fight to say that you're not a part of this case, and we want you to acknowledge that we're not a part of this case. Anyways, his whole filing and motion stuff is bullshit, basically, right? So, in a response to Druski, Ariel Mitchell, who is Ashley Parham's lawyer, had to submit a documentation as to why she is representing Ashley Parham. And it does not, what do you call that? Disappoint. It does not disappoint, you guys. It names in her document why John Pelletier, Maui Police Chief, is named in this Diddy lawsuit. This was filed on June 2nd, so this was filed just last week. Let's go ahead and I'm going to read this to you guys, okay? In the United States District Court for the Northern District of California, Ashley Parham, Jane Doe, and John Doe versus Sean Combs, Christina Coram, Shane Pierce, Ruben Valdez, John Pelletier, Maui Police Chief John Pelletier, Odell Beckham Jr., Druski, Jacqueline Wright, Helena Harris, Matthias Gonzalez, Brandy Cunningham, Janice Combs, his mom, and Big Homie Cece, plus several more John and Jane Does. Okay, so this is what Ariel Mitchell submitted to the court as to why she is, with validity and investigation, is representing Ashley Parham. She's explaining her investigation and basically saying, I didn't take this for clout. I didn't take this for notoriety. I am not doing this just to, because he's trying to say she's defaming his name. Okay. So this is what she says. Declaration of Ariel Mitchell. I, Ariel Mitchell, declare that I am an attorney at law admitted in the state of Florida and admitted a pro hoc vice to appear in this case counsel for the plaintiffs. Pro hoc vice, by the way, you guys, means she had to get like a temporary sponsorship to be able to practice law in California, where this was filed. Okay. In or around late October 2024, I was contacted by two individuals who purported to have information from third-party witnesses relating to Miss Parham's assault on March 23rd, 2018. During the period from October 2024 through January 2025, I spoke with these individuals numerous times. The Does were offering the information as if it was coming from a third party. I am experienced in dealing with high-profile cases involving celebrities and am well aware that individuals may come forward with information for notoriety or remuneration. As a result of my experience, I was initially suspect of the source and the information. Good. So she's telling us that John and Jane Doe approached her and she was initially suspicious and she wanted to make sure she verified them. Okay. In January 2025, the Does told me that they were, in fact, the eyewitnesses to the event set forth in Ms. Parham's complaint, and they were not reporting information they had heard from other individuals. They told me that the reason they were so cryptic at first was that they were afraid for their safety. So in case you guys don't know, John and Jane Doe is from the lawsuit, if you guys have ever read it, is very afraid. They're very afraid. They were kidnapped by gunpoint by John Pelletier in Vegas and taken to Diddy in California. This is what's all alleged in the lawsuit. Okay. In an effort to determine what information they had, whether it was truthful and relevant to Ms. Parham's case, I undertook an investigation to find corroboration for who and what they described. The Does sent me several pictures of two individuals in police uniforms that they claimed were there at the time of Parham's assault. I used those pictures along with several other pictures of other individuals in security uniforms to prepare a photo lineup. I presented the photo lineup to Miss Parham and asked her if she could identify anyone in the pictures. Miss Parham only identified one of the individuals, John Pelletier, the police officer who responded to the neighbor's house following her assault. The DOE'S also told me that another individual, Druski, was also present at the time of the assault. I again did a similar lineup of several other individuals of similar size and skin tone of Druski. Ms. Parham identified, his name is Drew Disbordis, identified Mr. Disbordis from that lineup and told me he was the person during the assault who used her body like a slip and slide during the assault. Sorry. The DOE'S told me Odell Beckham was there at the time of the assault. Specifically, they told me that Mr. Beckham was being called by his middle name, Cornelius. Following my conversation with the DOE'S, I called Ms. Parham and I gave her a series of names, not using Odell's first name, but his middle name, Cornelius, as well as a series of other names that were randomly chosen. Parham said she remembered hearing the name Cornelius because she thought it was a funny, silly, and unusual name. When I showed Parham a picture of Mr. Beckham, Parham said that his body type looked familiar, but she had a solid memory of the name Cornelius being used. In an effort to ensure that my investigation was thorough and not influenced or tainted by any contact between the DOE'S and Parham, I made sure that the DOE'S and Parham have never spoken directly to one another, nor have they met. They are complete strangers and did not know each other prior to the date and time when the assault occurred. I conducted lineups to ensure that I went beyond due diligence, and it was only after several occurrences of Parham identifying the same individuals without knowledge of what was being said by the DOE'S that I came to the conclusion that all parties were being truthful and that all parties were in fact at the same place on the same day, and that the individuals they were alleging to have been there were in fact there. Since the filing of the defendant's motion, the defendant has been using the media to manipulate the potential jury pool with false representations to the media regarding the efficacy of plaintiff's complaint. The following two links for the TMZ website, accusers, lawyers, judge, huge holes in stories they should have known. So she sends two links. The second link is an article discussing the phone and bank records that were disclosed in defendant's motion that they now want administratively sealed. Now they want it sealed. On multiple occasions, I have inquired with counsel for defendant Drew Desportis to waive service, which went unanswered. So waiving service means she's offered, oh no, she's offered to serve him and he's refused the service. It went unanswered. Instead, defendant filed his sanctions motion despite the fact that he has yet to be served or yet to waive service. Executed this day, 22nd of May, 2025. Interesting. So actually, it was filed on, May 22nd. Alrighty, guys. So there, Ariel Mitchell is explaining to us exactly how John Pelletier was named, the Maui police chief was named in the Diddy lawsuit. We now know he was legitimately picked out, ID'd from a photo lineup. Okay. All right. Let me see. Next thing I want to discuss is what was filed today is Ashley Parham's lawyers filed the necessary paperwork for John and Jane Doe to remain anonymous throughout this whole lawsuit. So that's really big news because that was one of the reasons that the police, that John Pelletier's lawyer gave to the police commission as to why this whole case was fake. And now that paperwork has been filed. So now we can proceed. I'm happy that we have movement on this John Pelletier, Maui police chief, and Diddy lawsuit because he has been on a reign of terror on Maui ever since he got here. He's created hostile work environments. We currently have 4 women who works in the Maui Police Department who filed gender discrimination lawsuits against him, against Maui Police Department, but because of him. We had 8 formal complaints initially filed against him to the Maui Peace Commission for creating hostile work environments. He was he claimed that he was the incident commander to the Las Vegas massacre shooting, but we've researched and he wasn't the incident commander, so he lied about that. And then also he's been named in a Diddy lawsuit while he's here on Maui. Oh, the Lahaina wildfires. He did absolutely nothing to the Lahaina wildfires. He was supposed to be at the command center commanding these officers where to go. They had zero command, zero direction, which is why they drove all these people into the fire and murdered them, basically. So there's a lot of controversy behind John Pelletier. That is why I follow all of this Diddy trial stuff, and this is why I stay up to date on the docket for Ashley Parham. So thank you to everybody who stay tuned and watch the live. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna make an actual formal video, and I'm gonna try to just do that within like 10 minutes. And I'm gonna put that on with the information I talked about tonight. And as always, follow me on Instagram, Connect the Dots with Jenny. Follow me on TikTok, Connect the Dots with Jenny. And if you go to my Instagram, I'm very active there. So I'm gonna I have my link in my bio that has all the receipts for every single thing that I talk about, because I don't talk shit. Everything I talk about is factual and researched. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Have a wonderful night. I will see you guys soon. Aloha. Let me see how I end this. All right.